Real says, my friend tells me that I need to put myself out there to find a wife. I'm scared to date. Does God need me to step out and mingle for him to bring someone in my life? You don't have to mingle while you're single. And what I mean by that is because you got to check your motive for the mingle. A lot of people got bad motives for the mingle. They just want to mingle because they want to help God. God don't need our help. The only thing that you can really offer God to help the situation is to make sure that you are a helpful person, to make sure that you are a whole person, to make sure that you are maximizing this time of singleness. When you put yourself out there, you put yourself in a position to be tempted to promote yourself. The Bible says promotion doesn't come from the east or from the west. It comes from the Lord. I tell you, the best opportunity for you to find your spouse, number one, get your house in order, and number two, put yourself in your purpose. I'm telling you, purpose will put you in position to find your person. I'm telling you, because if you don't know your purpose, you won't know your person. If you don't fulfill the assignment, you won't know your assistant. What's the first thing that Adam had to do before he found his assistant? God gave him an assignment. Once he finished the assignment of his singleness, God saw that it was no longer good for Adam to be alone anymore. What that text means, it wasn't like God said, oops, I forgot about Adam. It was God saying, since Adam has finished this assignment, it is no longer good for him to be alone anymore. And so what happens is when you are in an assignment, you will begin to be able to name your assistant. What did Adam do? The Bible says he brought animals to Adam to see what he would name them. Adam began to say elephant or giraffe, whatever in Hebrew, whatever the native tongue was for Eden. But then what did happen when he saw his wife? He said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And he named her. If you can't name the names of the things in your season now, you won't be able to name who your wife is. You won't be able to point out who your wife is. I'm not saying my life is all size fits all, but I know for a fact that there are certain principles, certain patterns that I believe God holds true to. And when I was in my purpose, my wife literally, when I met her for the first time, walked in the midst of my purpose. Purpose people find purpose people. When you know your purpose, you will set yourself up with a higher probability to meet your person, because there's something about your purpose that turns you into the person that matches the person you want to be. That person will be in purpose. You will be in purpose. And when those purpose collides, you guys will begin to see the leaping as John the Baptist's mom and Mary come together. There'll be something that leaps in your womb. That's like, yo, this is my woman. This is my man. So listen, you got to ask yourself, who are these people giving you advice? Don't listen to single people about marital advice, and don't listen to divorced people about marital advice. You got to say, hey, God will put me where I need to be, because when you're a person of purpose, you will always be where you need to be to attract what God has for you. So don't be scared to date, because we don't want, when you do meet the person, or the reason why the person is not near is because you in fear, because it could be if you are afraid, they may not come your way. Right? So what you got to do is you got to get rid of that fear and say, God, I have faith in you that you will supply all of my needs according to your riches and glory, that you will exceed my expectation. That, Father, you do have someone out there. You have to believe. In order to have a wife, you got to do what a husband does. In order to do what a husband does, you got to be a husband. In order to be a husband, you have to believe that God can make you a husband. In order for you to believe that you can be a husband, to be a husband and do what a husband does, to eventually find your wife, you have to scale all the way back to being around God more, so God will show you how to be a husband, so you actually believe that you can be a husband despite whether you saw a husband or not, that you will actually become a husband, because you have to be a husband before you are a husband. I do is not a miraculous phrase that turns you from this phase to the next phase in one moment, and now you are a husband because you said I do. Before you say I do, you have to say I did. I did should be the thing that we should be saying at the altar now. I do want to marry you, but I want to tell you that I have a prerequisite proof that I did. I've done what I had to do. I've did what I had to do to be the husband I need to be. Does God need me to step out and mingle for him to? No, God don't need our help with anything. All we got to do is continue to be who we need to be, continue to name our animals, continue to fulfill our assignment, and God will take care of the rest. Because when you think about promotion, you will forget about preparation. You have to prepare before you promote it. Let God focus on the promotion while you focus on the preparation. If you want to have her, you got to do what you got to do. You got to be who you need to be. You got to believe at a high level, and you actually got to be around God so much that you're so lost in him that you're not even looking for them. You're not looking for anyone, because you're so involved in purpose that you trust God for your person. Hope they help.